All right, so Christian, of course, is somebody that I've seen basically his entire career, and now we're here together at Wrestlecade, and whether it was the beginning stages through Canada, and then, of course, through ECWA, spending some time with Jim Kettner, on to the Brood and all the success that you had. How you feeling?
Now that you said that, I'm feeling old. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Well, I know that it was, we forget about kind of some of the steps along the way, and I've been reconnecting the dots, and I know you get to see a lot of friends, people you haven't seen in a long time here.
Yeah, no, I love coming to these because, I mean, really with what we do, it's all about entertaining the fans, the people that support what we do. And I think now more than ever, and we've talked about a lot on the Edge and Christian podcast as well, that with technology and how it's changed with streaming services and with YouTube and all these things, people having access to stuff in Japan or to independent promotions there's really no time better than now for wrestling and for wrestling fans. So it's cool to get out here and meet people and shake hands and you know, actually be able to have a conversation with people, because I enjoy that, you know, having some moments with people. It's a good time.
And I know that fans have gotten to see a different side of you over the last few years. Some of the comedy moments on the Edge and Christian show that we saw on the network. I mean, that's like they're like, fans are begging for more. They just loved it. Yeah, we didn't really know exactly what it was the first couple episodes. Nobody's ever done a show like that. So that was the challenge. But after we kind of hit our stride after the first few episodes, and we really figured out what it was and had some fun with it and made fun of ourselves more than we made fun of anybody else. So, but we just tried to have a good time with it and, you know, just give them something different. And sometimes the comedy stuff can be hard to pull off, but when it's done right, it's funny, you know. So we just want to do that. We want to do something specifically for wrestling fans with wrestling references and maybe like even inside references that, like, wait, did they just say that? Did they just get away with saying that? So that was the whole point of it. And we're looking. We have the second season written. We'll see if it ends up getting done or not. But we hope it does, because it was a lot of fun to do. Talk to me about the podcast too, because I know that the trying to get through the clutter, and there's so many great podcasts that are out there right now. What was sort of the goal of the podcast from you and Edge's perspective? Yeah, so we just wanted to basically almost be like an extension of the Edge and Christian show. We just wanted to be kind of, you know, that when we got presented the idea of doing a podcast, our concern was, oh man, there's a lot of wrestling podcasts. And then we'd start talking on the phone and being our usual selves, making fun of each other and laughing and telling stories. Next thing you know, we're 45 minutes in. We're like, well, this is pretty much a podcast. So I think the dynamic is that what we have together. It's just the natural chemistry that we've had our whole life. Try to keep it light and fun, and you know, same thing when we don't always have to have a guest on, and when we do have guests, we just make it like buddies hanging out, having a conversation. It's not like structured questions that are written down beforehand. We just see what happens and just, like I said, buddies in a room hanging out, and you get to kind of be a fly on the wall with it. So we're just putting it out there, and it seems like people are enjoying it because we get a lot of good comments about it, so it's fun. And I did want to get your thoughts, because Chris Jericho's made headlines challenging Kenny Omega. They're going to wrestle on January 4th at Wrestle Kingdom. And some fans have said, well, we know Omega's great. We know Jericho has been great. Do you think Jericho has it in him to still be that top flight Chris Jericho here on the dawn of 2018? Oh, for sure. I think, you know, as you get older, and I can attest to this yourself, you find different ways to be great. If you physically can't do the things that you could do before, you're wily enough, you're smart enough, you have enough experience to figure out different things in different ways. And I don't think Chris has even lost that big of a step physically. I think he's he's very durable. He's never really been injured. So even when he's gone back for his previous runs with WWE, he didn't look like he missed a day to me. And he could still go out there and do 25, 30, 40 minutes if he needed to. And he's always been that way in his career. So I think it's a great thing for the business as a whole that this is even happening, and I think it also legitimizes how good Kenny Omega has been the past year or so, and because I don't think that he'd be doing this, Jericho that is, would be doing this if Kenny wasn't the real deal, you know. So I think this puts a stamp on him as well, like this kid's legit. So yeah, and you of course were to me always one of my most favorite wrestlers. Because every veteran respected you, and every veteran wanted to wrestle you. Yeah, no, I appreciate that, and it's it's always something I was very proud of. Is that I was able to I realized what I was
pretty early on that I was never going to be the biggest guy, never going to be the fastest guy, never going to be the strongest guy. But I wanted to be, and I realized I would never be great at one thing, so I had to be good at everything, if that makes any sense. So I really prided myself in being able to go in with anybody on the card, from a Kane or a Big Show to a Rey Mysterio, and have a different style match and have a good match. And yeah, I was always proud of the fact that people enjoyed, guys that were my peers, that I respected, had showed the same respect for me, and that always meant a lot.
If any young wrestlers are watching this and you want to learn the subtleties and the nuances of professional wrestling and what makes it great, go back and study Christian's body of work, because not only does it hold up over time, but you will learn things and you'll see the difference between when professional wrestling is okay and when professional wrestling is great. So I want to thank you.
Are you trying to make me cry?
Yes.
It's about to work.
All right, push in tight, a nice slow. We'll get the tear.
I gotta go.
And then we dissolve. That's it, Christian here at Wrestlecade.